Thank you and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming tonight. For those of you that are sitting here in this room, just let it be known that the banquet hall is completely full. The public skating room is completely full. The atrium is completely full. And there's still people trying to get in. First, before I begin my speech, I'd just like to say a few words of opening that Dr. Kitts is here this evening, and normally it would be accustomed to have Dr. Kitts give an opening remarks, but we felt it more appropriate that Dr. Kitts is here to listen to you, the people. And I can assure you that I have met with Dr. Kitts several times, and I can assure you that there is no hidden agenda, that his team is completely impartial, that no decision has been made, and that Dr. Kitts and his team is here to listen to all of your comments, to all of our concerns, to the speakers this evening, to listen to the emails and the letters and the calls that you have made prior to making any decision. Dr. Kitts is a well-respected health administrator in the province from Ottawa. We understand this is not Ottawa, this is Niagara, and it is different, and he understands that. I'd also like to say that the members of the LHIN who are here, the Board of Directors, chose to sit in the audience with all of you to hear your comments, to hear what you have to say, and be part of the crowd that is here to listen to the speakers that are here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for being here this evening on this very important day. It's great to see so many of our veterans here this evening. I thank them for fighting for our country. I thank them for fighting for our community here this evening as well. Thank you. Tonight, the voices of Fort Erie will be heard loud and clear on an issue that affects our health care. It affects the oldest and the youngest, our way of life, and indeed our quality of life. We are fighting to keep our hospital alive, but the stakes are much higher. One of our doctors recently said, if you close a hospital, you lose a town. This is not an overstatement. This is fact. The availability of high-quality health care and emergency health care in particular affects the countless decisions that are critical to our town. Doctors choose where to work and where to live. Families decide where to live. Businesses decide where to locate. That's what is at stake here this evening, our hospital, our town. And so we ask, why are we here again this evening? On June the 6th of this year, I was told by the Niagara Health System that, quote, there will be no reduction of services at the operating room or the emergency room in Fort Erie. Now, you may call me old-fashioned, but I was raised to believe that your word is your bond, and that the comments and that commitments made should be kept. So what happens 5 weeks after that commitment to me? They dropped this bomb on us called the Health Improvement Plan. I assume the irony in the title is unintended. Because this plan doesn't just reduce our access to health care in Fort Erie, it completely eliminates some of our most vital services. It means that the big blue H on our hospital will disappear forever. And along with that, many of our finest doctors, nurses, and technicians here in Fort Erie. We cannot let this happen. We will not let this happen. It's a pleasure to have Dr. Kitts and his team here this evening. And Dr. Kitts is here, and I must also say that Dr. Kitts is not being paid to do this. Dr. Kitts is doing this because he believes in health care in this province. Now, after hearing that, I also asked him one important question: how much does he want? Because a brown bag could have been slidden under the table at any time if he'd asked. But Dr. Kitts is a man of integrity. And Dr. Kitts, you have 5 criteria that you will be assessing this plan on, and tonight we will demonstrate how this NHS plan fails all 5. First is, I will read this, whether the plan enables timely and equitable access to hospital health care. Fort Erie is the fastest growing community in the Niagara Health System area, with we are 30,000 residents and growing fast, with 41,000 residents every summer. Now let's compare that with Welland, just up the road. Welland has a population of 50,000, and they have been designated as a center of excellence. We will catch them soon in population, and we deserve the same access, equal access to health care. We have been chosen by the province as an economic gateway zone and as a place to grow under the Places to Grow Act. Our healthcare needs are growing every day, every month, every year. That's why we as a town were the first to have invested in a community health and wellness program, and one of the first to have invested in recruiting physicians to the town of Fort Erie. Now, these doctors won't be able to stay here without our hospital. If there's no hospital, they can't stay here. Look at our location. We all know where we are. The only timely access to health care for the people of the town, of our town, is at our hospital, the Douglas Memorial Hospital. Now imagine, just imagine for a moment you're the mother of a child having a severe allergic reaction. Your child is suffering to breathe, and you have to drive for half an hour to get your child life-saving medical care. Now imagine this in the dead of winter, in the middle of the night. The doors of the Prompt Care Center in Fort Erie are closed, and every second can make the difference between life or death. You're facing a drive that may be an hour or more. That's not timely, that's not equitable, that's not acceptable to the town of Fort Erie. Second is whether there's evidence of best practice in critical program profile. Simple principle: bigger does not mean better. In fact, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that health care delivered at a community hospital is the true best practice. At the Douglas, our doctors know their patients, many from the day they were born. They know their histories, they know their families, they know all of us here in this building today. When it comes to making the best health care decisions, the knowledge and the relationships make a huge difference. That's why we can't afford to lose our hospital.